All right, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond, and today I'm going to be answering some of your spiritual questions. So you guys have sent me questions from Instagram and on the community board here on my channel, and I've got them here in front of me, so let's just jump right into it because there's actually a fair amount, so I'll get through as many as I can. I don't want this video to be too long. If it's really long, I'll make it a two-parter. So let's jump into it right meow. Okay, so Alchemy222 is asking, what is the event? Okay, so that's a really good question, and I mentioned this in my last energy update video about the fascia and everything and how we can integrate energy. Now, the event is supposed to be about a massive solar flash or some kind of an energetic wave that is sent from elsewhere in the galaxy, potentially the central galactic sun or somewhere else, where this energy wave comes to Earth and affects each and every one of us. Now, there's a lot of speculation about this, and lots of people have had their own visions or their own thoughts and ideas around this. It originated with Dolores Cannon, who was a specialist in QHHT. Actually, I think she created QHHT. So anyway, she was really deep into it, and she would have all of these different clients who she would regress them to the point where it was her communicating with their higher self or whatever wanted to come through. And there was a similarity between all of the information that she was getting from these individuals. So there was information coming through about this event and how there was different waves of people from different galaxies coming in to experience this event and to help raise the collective consciousness of the Earth and the three-dimensional realm. So I highly recommend going and checking out a lot of Dolores Cannon's work and some of her QHHT sessions that she's had. So the event essentially is supposed to be like this mass awakening, and it could potentially have physical effects. There's people who are saying it will knock out all of the power in the world. It's like a great EMP, like a natural EMP, electromagnetic pulse, that knocks out all of our technology. So we're kind of like regressed back to the dark ages. Other people are saying that we're not even going to really notice it. It's just kind of like this wash of energy, and it's going to help us to raise our consciousness. What do I believe? I feel as though there are many different timelines based on what you believe. So I know this is kind of like a cop-out answer because it's like, well, anything's true, but that's true. That's how it works, is that when we believe in something, we are, first of all, creating it, and then second of all, aligning with that timeline, which is basically the same thing. You're creating that, and so you make it a reality for you by your belief and your energy that you're using to believe in that. So as conscious creator beings, we have to be aware of what it is we'd like to create, not necessarily just what we think is coming, right? So when it comes to the event and this big wave or this solar energy or whatever it is, when it comes, I feel as though it's our responsibility to really make this something special. Make it something easy. Make it something non-apocalyptic and to use the energy to shift into the fifth dimensional body. So this is the energy body, and we are going to be taking our physical bodies with us. That's why we're doing all of this work right now in healing the physical body, the mind, the soul, and everything else in that realm. So the event is a much speculated upon great awakening. Now, we've already done this. We've already kind of gotten over the hump of the collective lower vibrational energy that was keeping us stuck in these karmic loops and cycles for generations. So the fact that we've come this far already really says to me that there's nothing to fear, first and foremost, because if you're fearing it, then you're creating that and you're aligning with that timeline, so make sure you don't do that. And second of all, because I experienced something in March of I think it was 2017 or 2018, No, it must have been 2017. I experienced what I feel like the event actually was. It was like this wave came through. I was lying in my bed and there was this energy that came through the room and I could see it. And it was kind of like a whitish smoke, which is usually how I see energy anyway. And I could feel it coming in through my body. So it started top of my head through my crown chakra. It went all the way down my body to my feet. And it was like every cell in my body was vibrating really, really fast. So I felt like I was kind of lifting up off the bed and it was really intense and extremely joyful. So like pure joy. I could feel my heart chakra expanding to let this energy in. I was like crying, like, oh, thank you, thank you. And then it was like, we did it, like, this is it. So in my opinion, have I already experienced the event? Yeah. So there's so many different timelines. Is it coming in the future potentially still? Sure. Why not? Because whatever we create, whatever is based on what we believe. So it's not, seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. So when it comes to the event, it's really up to you. Each and every single one of you who's watching this video, it's up to you and it's up to us as a collective. So what we choose to believe in is what we choose to create. And the more of us believe in something, the more energy is going to that, the more likely it is to become real. So again, don't fall into the fear mongering and the apocalyptic, catastrophic prophesizing. No, just no, cut that shit out right now. Sorry, excuse my French. Okay, let's move on to the next question because I feel like I've spent a lot of time on this one already. Yee. So this one is from Alchemy222 again, I believe. So have you felt or experienced anything to do with the event premonition-wise or from your guides? So again, this is sort of along the same lines as the event, basically what I was just talking about. So that experience was something that was confirmed for me. Aluna Ash, I believe she experienced something similar either around the same time or something like along those lines. So she experienced something as well. And again, it's based on belief. I was listening to her a lot of the time. And so I believed that and then I created that, right? So it's really complicated when it comes down to it because everyone's going to be experiencing something different because all of our subjective truths are different. All of our beliefs are different. So whether you want to experience it or not, it's based on your beliefs. So Rachel Jean asks, what do you think is going to happen in 2020 ascension-wise? So this is a really good question. I don't really know. I have a feeling that it's going to be, again, subjective. So everybody is on different timelines, and yet we're on the same timeline. Go figure. So if we're interacting, it can mean that we're on a similar timeline or whatever it is. But again, based on the subjective belief and our own personal reality, it's going to differ. That being said, we can still experience similar things, and obviously we interact with other people in the world, so there is some level of objective truth. So for 2020, I don't really know, but I feel like it's going to be a shift. So there's going to be sort of like almost a new hippie generation, which we've already started to see with the New Age movement and all of the spirituality going more mainstream, which is great. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about that, but I think it's really good. Yes, it gets watered down, but it gets out to more people. And more people are becoming more aware. That's the key. It doesn't matter, what media does with it or how it becomes a meme or something like that. It really just matters how it can reach people who need it when they need that information to raise their awareness and their consciousness up to the next level or to heal. So this is great. But I really feel that 2020 is going to bring a lot of shifts when it comes to popular culture and the media around spirituality. And again, it's going to become increasingly more mainstream and more accepted. And it's not going to be looked at as something that is like wishy-washy or airy-fairy. It's going to become a little bit more concrete, which it already has begun to with the study of metaphysics and quantum theory and quantum mechanics. So We're seeing the shift already. I think 2020 is just really going to build off of that. We've sort of established some of the foundation, some of the roots, and then in 2020 and going forward through the decade, it's going to be more and more accepted and integrated into our consciousness. So that's also helping with the event or the collective ascension of humanity. It is really a numbers game where we have to work on our own awareness because that is our part in the collective. And if we can help other people, that's great too, but we don't have to. Each individual will choose their own trajectory and their timeline, and that's their free will choice, and that's fine. But I feel like we've already passed over the threshold for that, like the 100th monkey effect. We've already gotten there, so now it's all up in the cloud, i.e. the collective consciousness, and it's really just about being able to download stuff now. So I got a little off topic, went off on a bit of a tangent on that one, so let's move on. Sufi O asks, I'm afraid for our future. When is the great solar flash coming and what to expect when it's here? Yeah, so again, along the same line, if you fear it, you're creating that. So be very careful with that. Be aware, be conscious, and try to take a step back from your human perspective, which is like, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm out of control. This is out of my hands. What's going to happen to my physical body and my house and my friends and my family? That's natural reaction and that's okay. But try to be conscious of that reaction and pull yourself back from it, because it's not helping you and it's not helping anyone else, and it's certainly not it's certainly not helping the collective ascension to be smooth. It's adding fear and negative trajectories where they don't need to be. So I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say any more on that. So I have another one from Alchemy222. And they asked, do you experience number synchronicities and what do they mean? So this is good. Let's get off the topic of the event. So the number synchronicities, yes, I started seeing them in around 2012. It may have been a little bit before that too, but it started out with the quintessential 1111, which is an activation code, and this is an awakening code. That's why it's most often the one that people see first. Not always, but most of the time people start to see 1111. So 2012 was when I started seeing that, and then it kind of progressed from there into 222, 333, 444, like the other sort of more traditional angel numbers and stuff like that. It was 1222 as I looked up. Yup. So yeah, I started seeing those. What do they mean? I've got a lot of different beliefs around angel numbers. So I feel that they are first and foremost activations. Okay, so 1111 is activating your consciousness, and when you see it repeatedly, it's because it's imprinting onto your subconscious mind, and these messages are coming from your higher self, your angels, your guides. I really believe that your higher self is sort of like the conglomeration of all of those different fractals of self. So goddesses, gods, angels, ascended masters, guides, spirit totems, all of these different things, they're all kind of a fraction of your higher self that's split off to come and help you in one particular area. So when it comes to these number synchronicities and angel numbers, I really love using Joanne's Sacred Scribes. I'm always checking, oh, what does this mean again? Because I forget, even though I know them off by heart by now, but I'm like, I should check just to be sure. So she's got a website, it's a blog spot, I believe, where she has a great inventory of all of the different angel numbers and her sort of interpretations of them. But there's going to be lots of different ways that you can interpret them, and yours is going to be different than somebody else's. So again, check with your higher self, consult your greatest truth, which is your subjective truth. So ask yourself, what does this mean to me? What was I looking at or thinking about when I saw that number or just before it? And how does that resonate for me? So I mean, there's other just fairly basic like numerological meanings that come with them. So like ones being new beginnings and positive thinking and, starting something fresh. Twos being about like balance and master builder number, so creating and all of those wonderful things. And then 3 being about expansion and expression, the Holy Trinity, mind, body, soul. 4 being about stability, as well as the archangels. Oh, and 3s are ascended ascended masters, I believe, as well. They're associated with that. So 4 being, yeah, the archangels are around you, protection, stability, that kind of thing. 5 is usually just change, but it's good, divinely guided change. 6s are harmony. So it's balance between above and below, and the lower aspects with the higher aspects. It's also about family, relationships, harmony in that realm. So like anything in the home, or, you know, like the family environment. It's very 6 oriented. So if you're seeing a lot of 6s, it's not like a devil sign, okay, please. It is just, you know, bringing you back into balance. You may have been out of harmony, and it's just making you aware of that so that you can correct some of those things. 7s, I love 7s. 7's my lucky number. It's also my life path number. So this is all about trust. And sometimes trust can be difficult. So 7 is a very spiritual number as well. It's a spiritual seeker. It's constantly looking for more information and knowledge, but not always through conventional means. So that may be, you know, through meditation, channeling, that kind of thing, or reading and investigating, researching, Googling, whatever. And it's also, yeah, a lucky number for a lot of people. So that can hold sway in the vibration as well, because a lot of people believe in it. 8s are abundance and karma. So there's a little bit of both there, but depends on what your karma is, of course, but it's the infinity loop. So it's everything is connected, and there's no beginning or no end, and it's limitless. 9s are about closure, endings, as well as light working and giving humanitarian aid to the world in whatever way that you feel you resonate with. So that's why light working resonates with number 9, is because it's about putting ourselves out there and helping the world in whatever way that we can. 10 is a conclusion, and it boils down to 1 and 0. 1 again being about, you know, new beginnings, positivity, positive thinking, and 0 being about the 0 point energy. So like this is the void. This is the creative source of the universe. This is our ability to start from 0 and create anything we want. So when you see lots of zeros, it's like, be very aware of what you're thinking in those moments and what you're creating, because you have unlimited potential and you are channeling the void self, like the source self energy, that you can create whatever it is that you want. So yes, that was a long-winded explanation of number synchronicities, but on that note, yeah, it really is activations. I see them as different points in your spiritual ascension and your consciousness. As it shifts, your higher self will send you messages through numbers to activate you in certain ways, to turn on certain functions within your mind and your body. So certain number sequences are programming your subconscious mind, which are in turn turning on or off different codes in your DNA. So it's a lot more than just, you know, like general spiritual guidance from your angels and ascended masters. It's much, much deeper than that. So fantastic if you're being aware of that. Keep up the awareness, you know, keep an open mind to it. So Kimberly Paulson asks, thoughts on spiritual disinformation and fake news. So yeah, she was talking about seeing a lot of spiritual accounts that are fear-mongering or really pushing this propaganda of, you know, leading people away from working on themselves and leading them into sort of these fear realms under the guise of spirituality. So yeah, I've seen this a lot too, and I tend to just avoid it because that I don't resonate with it, and so why would I subject myself to something that is clearly a vibration that is disharmonious with mine? So yeah, it does happen though, and this is, I mean, is it negative entities or the people, you know, like the Illuminati, and they're sort of, you know, feeding this information? Sure, probably a little bit, but it's also just people getting into fear, human beings who, you know, are allowing that fear to sort of take over and control them. So just, you know, if it doesn't resonate with you, then it shouldn't affect you, and it won't. And if it does resonate with you, then that's something inside to look at, right? So if you're vibrating with fear, you're going to attract fearful information. If you're vibrating with faith and trust, you're going to attract information that that mirrors that back to you. So again, everything that you see in your reality is a reflection of what's going on inside you. And it's all symptomatic. It's like everything in our life, all of the information, all of the people that we interact with are a symptom of something that we're experiencing on the inside, whether good or bad. So, you know, I really don't believe in spreading fear, and that's why even if I have some information that is, you know, like a little bit out there, or it can cause fear in people, I will present it in a way that's like, no, don't worry about it, because again, like, you have to empower yourself because you are the creator, and whatever you believe, you're creating, right? So just don't pay attention to it. Don't feed into it, because where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're looking at it and if it's bugging you, you're still feeding energy to it. Even if you don't agree with it, you're subconsciously, you're still doing that. So just try to pull your awareness out of it. Try to look at something else. And this isn't like an ignorance is bliss type of thing. I'm consciously aware that there are bad things out there and that people are preaching this negativity. I'm not ignoring it. I'm choosing to invest my energy into something that I believe in and that I want to see in the world, right? And I'm aligning my energy with a higher timeline or trajectory or creation, and therefore I'm attracting that / creating it. So just don't pay attention to it. Don't look at it. You don't have to try and fight against it, because again, you're adding your energy to it. So just redirect. That's it. That's my biggest advice on anything negative. Just redirect your energy. And if you're still finding it come up into your reality, then again, this is something inside that needs to be dealt with. There's fear that you have within you in the subconscious, especially around survival. And so that is something that needs to be looked at and healed, so that you can step into a higher activation of your consciousness, knowing that you cannot die. Your physical body can die, your ego can die, but you cannot die. You are infinite. Your soul cannot be destroyed. It is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. So again, it's the perspective and the vibration that you're resonating with. Okay. So this one came from Instagram. I don't know. I can't remember the name, because it was on my story and then it closed out after the the day was done. And I went back to look at it and I was like, oh crap, I forgot. After 24 hours, it's gone. So somebody asked, what are you grateful for today? And I think that this was a really great question. Thank you. So I'm grateful for my ability to do this for you guys. I'm really grateful for what I do for a living. I'm grateful for having found my purpose, for, connecting with my spirituality. And I'm really grateful for having learned Reiki. That's a big one for me. It really changed my life. And I'm really grateful for my cat, for my boyfriend, for my family, for my home. I'm grateful for positive thinking. I'm grateful for happiness that I can create and that I can find in any situation. I'm grateful for laughter and for not taking things so seriously. I'm grateful for silly faces, because when I was a little girl, that was how I entertained people, or I would make myself laugh, just make faces at yourself. Be silly sometimes. I'm grateful for silliness. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave that here, and then I'm gonna do a part 2. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to book a reading with me, all of the information will be in the description box below. Just hit the show more button and you'll get a drop-down list of all of my services and offerings. I do tarot readings as well as Reiki healing. So I will leave that open for you guys if you'd like to reach out to me. Thanks so much for watching. If you resonated or if you liked some of this content, I'm going to be doing more Q&A videos, so stay tuned for that. And also I do monthly horoscope readings with the tarot and oracle, as well as energy updates and general spiritual chit chats. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.